Hello, and welcome to the Monster Painter. This week, I'm going to dig out some terrain from thrift store trash. Okay, so before I get to those delightful bags of treasure, I thought we'd take a look at this other bit that I found from the Animators collection produced by Disney or for Disney, for only $3. Now, this little case is about scale, but it's kind of terribly proportioned as a piece of terrain. But that's not why I bought it. I bought it because it contained two rather awesome beds, fully detailed, no need to paint them up, and yeah, they're pretty awesome. I mean, look at them. Excellent scale, totally fantasy, and as for the case itself, well, I can see myself using this to transport my war bands in the future. They're going to travel in Disney princess style, and I think that is going to be pretty cool and fun. Okay, now that the hors d'oeuvre is out of the way, let's take a look at the main attraction, which is this two $3 bags of play set rubbish. It is a bunch of cowboys and Indians stuff, and well, things like this can sometimes lead to questions of cultural appropriation and representation of non-European, non-settler communities, and all the thorny issues therein. Resolving those questions is definitely much more than this small YouTube channel can manage. I'm going to focus on the fun of the terrain, and there are some really interesting bits within these two bags, even if they do provoke some challenging questions. They will become a lot of fun, I think, and make for some rather useful terrain, a bit scenario specific, but it's going to be some good stuff, like this thing here, which is a weird totem pole designed by someone who obviously never saw a piece of Pacific Northwest art in their life. And in the second bag, we get a bunch more similar stuff, including a settler wagon. This wagon's going to take a little bit of work to get tabletop ready, but all of the stuff in this pile of plastic is going to take a little bit of work to get ready. But it should be a lot of fun. Oh, and look, another totem pole. This person who designed this one obviously had seen a little Pacific Northwest art. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff, and let's take a closer look at what we got. I have to say that I do like these sculpts. The cowboys look great. The Indians look pretty good. But all in all, they are way too big. I think they're like 54 millimeter scale. And, well, the riders are a little more awkward looking. But, you know, maybe if I were playing a 54 millimeter scale version of Dracula's America, I would keep these things. But I certainly am not going to be playing a 54 millimeter scale version of Dracula's America. So all the soldiers, cowboys, First Nations, or really these guys are Indians, they're not historically accurate enough to be First Nations, are all going back to the Value Village where they where I acquired them, and some kid can play with these. I'm going to be working on the terrain instead. Goodbye, purple guy. And this is what I am left with for my $6. Not a bad set of terrain, not a super bargain, but still pretty good. But this guy is going to require extra work because he is not in the round. And a totem pole has to be in the round, after all. Right, so the first step is to jam a bunch of aluminum foil into that big hollow gap. And I've attached it to a crummy old base because the thing was pretty tippy. So it's on to the next step, which is Millput. And, well, I do Millput it up, but more importantly, I think I learned a lesson on where to position my camera. I'm right-handed and I put it over my right hand shoulder, and guess what? you can't see what I'm doing, which makes this a much less useful bit of footage for sure. Fortunately, what I'm doing is not rocket science. You just blend the Millput together, kneading it like dough. You have some water handy to keep it from sticking to everything, including your hands. And then you carefully blob it into place. Yeah, so that's what I did. I'm sorry you can see it. Next time, the camera will go over my left shoulder, and you should be able to get a better view of what the hell I am doing. Okay, so I've primed some of it up in clear gesso because I wanted to work with the plastic color underneath, like with the terracotta totem pole, and I primed the other totem pole in regular white gesso, and this led to a problem. The clear gesso didn't take to the wagon at all, and I had to scrub it down and reprime it. And here are the stuff is progressing, coming along nicely, getting a little more and more finished as I painted along. And the final products, I think, look pretty good. The two trees are nice, but they're not proper tabletop trees because they're kind of one-dimensional, as you can see. But I really adore these trees because they make excellent background pieces for miniature photography, which I do a lot of. And I had one of these trees already done, so now I've got 3 trees, which is just fantastic. The plastic little plants have come together to make some nice soft cover. I think it looks great. The totem poles finish up really nice. The one weird totem pole that appears to be from the South Pacific looks good, and well, my Millput job on the back of the more Pacific Northwest totem pole is not great. A little crude, a little rushed, but you know what? It passes the bar and is going to be a fine piece of terrain. So, you know, I could have spent more time on it, but I didn't. And that's what I get. Finally, we have a couple of dwellings for different types of nomads, surrounded by enemies. And I really like the teepee. I like it a lot more than the old teepee I had finished a long time ago. I think they're both still pretty good. And here it all is in its natural habitat, providing a strange setting. And I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with it. It looks good. Next time on the Monster Painter, I try to get some of this goddamn terrain finished. And Flakiar, what are you doing by that mutant dinosaur?
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe! Ring the bell! Ring the bell! Watching Les the Monster Painter.